Werner is a scientist, so he proposed an theory for the complex compounds or for the coordination compounds. So that says here, they told they'll keep exam in the month of June end. So Werner, he's a scientist. He proposed some theory or he is giving explanation and chemical activities of a complex compounds that is called coordination compound. So he is the first person who is to introduce the name or a concept called an like coordination. So coordination ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ನೇಮ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಮಗೆ ಲಾಂಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ವರ್ನರ್. So he proposed those theories in the year of 1893. So for the dedication of Werner, they give name for coordination compound is called Werner complexes. So he is involving in the formation or by the activities or explanation of an complex compounds. He spends 6 to 7 years of his life. So by giving and postulates and by giving the structures of it. So almost he proposed it and he launched at the 20th or 30th year of it. So that's why the complex compounds or the compounds which having a coordination bond, that also call it as Werner complexes. Okay, so he's the first person who giving the chemical physical behavior, characteristic feature, and coordination number explanation and activity. So everything is the one is giving a detailed explanation regarding your coordination complexes. So the postulate says that the first postulate what he proposed, and it will says that in a complex compound the metal ion, sorry, metal ion or an atom that having a two types of valencies. So the central metal ion is there, right? So this metal ion having a two types of valency. One is primary valency, second one is secondary valency. This is the first postulate. And primary valency says that, or why why we have two type, sorry, why we have two types of valency. So what does the primary valency says and what does the secondary valency says? Your primary valency says about your oxidation number or oxidation state. So primary valency ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ oxidation state ಬಗ್ಗೆ introduce ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. He used to explain, or the primary valency will explain regards the oxidation state of a compound. And next your secondary valency. Secondary valency says about the ionization. Okay, so primary valence is regarding the oxidation, secondary valency says regards an ionization. Says regards an ionization. Okay, then the secondary valency of a metal is fixed and equal to the coordination number. It means to say the primary valency can be fluctuating. So there will be a chances of changing in the primary valency, but here secondary valency is fixed, and because of the accurate secondary valency number, we can take that secondary valency as an coordination number. Okay, so ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ವೇಲೆನ್ಸಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ವೇಲೆನ್ಸಿ ಅಂತ ಎರಡು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ವೇಲೆನ್ಸಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ವೇಲೆನ್ಸಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅಯೋನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ವೇಲೆನ್ಸಿ ಇಸ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ because of that accurate or because of the standard number, we are taken that number as a coordination number. Okay, so the secondary valency are satisfied completely after these valencies are satisfied. satisfied is to say, first you need to satisfy the primary valency. So now the orbitals, if the orbital should fill their electron, it should from inner to outer. So from inner, it means to say from 1s, then 2s, then 2p. So it need to go out. So primary valency will satisfy their electron first, then the electrons will move towards the secondary valency. Your primary valency are the one which is basic, or it should fill it first, then it's going for the further. So next, last postulates he is saying about the secondary valency is linked to an arrangement of an coordination compound. It means to say, based on the secondary valency, we can write the structure of an valency. So ಒಂದು ಆ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡಿನ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ನಾವು ನೋಡಬಹುದು. We can give the structure of the complex compound by knowing the secondary valency. These are the 6 postulates given by an Werner. So Werner ಕೊಡುವಂತಹ 6 postulates ಇದು. So what are the merits and demerits of Werner's? So Werner theory na merits ಮತ್ತೆ demerits ಏನು? So the merits of Werner theory is explaining the complex ion. So complex ion ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, or central metal ion ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, what is the structure of it, how it will form, what are the bonds that is present, everything is going to explain regarding the complex ion. And he is also giving the geometry also. Geometry means structure ಕೂಡ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ complex ion. He is also giving the structure or geometry of the complex. And the next one, he used to differentiate the primary and secondary valencies. The one who says there will be a chances of getting a 2 valencies, that is called primary valency and secondary valency. Then what is the particular or specific characterization of your primary valency and secondary valency? ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಿ ಏನ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಿ ಏನ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವನು ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಇಸ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಿ. ಎರಡು ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಏನು, what is the role that which will play for primary valency and for secondary valency ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. And next thing is the first one is giving the valencies which have 2 types, that is called primary and secondary. So these 3 are the merits. You merits of your Werner theory, and demerits, or you can say disadvantages or limitations. So he fails to explain the formation of complex ion. On shape ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, but formation ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ, formation of ion. He fails to explain the formation of ion. And he is not explaining how ligand can satisfy both the primary and secondary valency of the central metal ion. So ligand ಬಗ್ಗೆ explanation ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. It means to say, if one ligand is donating 2 of its electron, ಒಂದು ligand ತನ್ನ 2 electron ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಾದ್ರೆ, how it will donate, based on what it will implement on the metal ion. Metal ion ಮೇಲೆ ligand ಕೊಡುವಂತಹ 2 electronಗಳು ಹೇಗೆ ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಬೀರುತ್ತೆ, how it alters the atomic size or maybe the structure or maybe the shapes of an orbital. ಹೇಗೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, in part of ligand he fails to explain it. And next one, for the formation of coordination complexes. So formation of coordination complex. So coordination complex na explain ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ fail ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. So he is giving an idea, he is explaining everything, but how it will form ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ you don't have an answer to explain it. Okay, and the coordination complex or the bond formation will form, ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಅವನು explain ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. Regarding the bond formation, properties of bond is fails to explain. Okay, does not explain why coordination complexes have characteristics, magnetic and optical property. So coordination complexes ಅಲ್ಲಿ optical activity ಮತ್ತೆ property ಹೇಗೆ change ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, how they are going to be changed in the magnetic property and your optical property. Optical ಮತ್ತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಷನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಷನ್ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಪ್ಯಾರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಡಯಾ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So but here ligands are donating. So what we need to think about it? Either we need to consider it as a central metal ion or the electron that it will taken from the ligand. Ligand ಇಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾ ಅಥವಾ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಅಯಾನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಸಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾ ಅದು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಆಪ್ಟಿಕಲಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ವಿಚ್ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ರೊಟೇಟ್. ಸೊ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಆಪ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಲೈಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಪಿನ್, ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ರೊಟೇಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಡಿಮೆರಿಟೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ನರ್ ಥಿಯರಿನ ಡಿಸ್ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜಸ್ ಇದಿಷ್ಟು. ಓಕೆನಾ. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ವಿಬಿಟಿ ಥಿಯರಿ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ valence bond theory. Okay, VBT theory is explained by Anne Pauli. So he used to say, according to the Lewis bases and acids, Lewis base ಮತ್ತು Lewis acid ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು he is going to explain how this valence orbital, okay, how this valence orbital are involving in the bond formation. So outermost orbital ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಗಳು ಬಾಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ವಿಬಿಟಿ ಥಿಯರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಓದ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ರೆಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅದರ್ ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟ್, but when we are comparing that with your coordination compound, we have little bit of changes, because I think you might have know that familiar change, because here in the normal compounds you can see the presence of covalent bond, otherwise ionic bond. But here in complex formation you can see only one type, is called coordination bond. So that coordination bond is completely based on an atom. ಪ್ರತಿ ಒಂದು ಆಟಮಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. If it is withdrawn their electron, so then we can't do anything. So we need to lose the complexes. Okay, so that is the thing. He is explaining how this valence electron are involving in the bond formation, that is to coordination bond. So ಇದಿಷ್ಟಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಇದನ್ನ. ಓಕೆ, ವಿಬಿಟಿ ಥಿಯರಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ವೇ. ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ನಾನು